Alright, what is going on, guys? Willis here. We're back with another Borderlands 3 video. It's been a while since we've done I guess a build on the channel. I've been playing the game a lot over the past few days, the new Maliwan DLC and obviously the Halloween event. I've got a pretty awesome build for you guys in this video showing off Flak. I'll definitely cover the other characters soon, but this is my Flak build I've been using for the raid and it's working out really well. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. And don't forget, if you'd like any cheap games at all, be sure to head over to g2a.com and use my code Willis. But yeah, with that being said, let's jump into it. Now, like I said, this build isn't like fully end game anointed every single weapon. This is just the build I've been using to, I guess, solo the first part of the raid, the Valkyries. I'm working towards doing the last boss as well, but I've managed to get this build in a very good position where I can pretty much solo most of the raid. And it's working out really well. So let's just see what I'm using. Like, it's nothing too special. It's pretty much just Flak. And yeah. So I guess let's just start off with the weapons, because it kind of is based around the weapons, but it isn't. So it doesn't really matter. I use the Butcher mainly because I've got the shock on it. This is super good for shielded enemies. For the raid, you kind of want to be running shock and corrosive, just because there's a lot of enemies that have shields and they basically have like armor underneath. There's not many, I guess there kind of is health bar enemies, like flesh enemies, but this is super good for those enemies that have shields and have armor underneath. Now, I'm running the Queen's Call. I did manage to get a Queen's Call which actually has no damage negativities on the percentage, because sometimes most of the Queen's Calls and the King's Call, they come with negative like percentage damage. If you can find one without that, it's really good. And I also managed to get this one as corrosive, so this absolutely melts bosses. This is what I use for, yeah, melting the Valkyries, melting the last bosses. Anything with a armor health bar, this thing actually destroys. So try and get yourself a Queen's Call or even like a high damage pistol. Next, I'm running the Lucian's Call. Now this is for the, I guess, the troopers in the raid. Now this is extremely good against flesh because I got it in fire, so this will actually melt stuff with flesh. I got an anointed version for Moe's. If you can get like a better version, go for it, but it doesn't really matter, honestly. I haven't really been noticing like anointed weapons doing insane more damage than my normal weapons. So if you want to go out and farm like perfect full anointed gear, go for it, but from my experience it doesn't really do much difference. I guess stuff like this would be good, like the Venomous Hornet. Like sometimes I'll run the Venomous Hornet just because I have a really good anointed perk on it. So on action skill end, weapon damage is increased by 100% for a short time. So what I like to do is pretty much pop my super, fade away, shoot the boss with the Queen's Call, and then when my action skill ends, sometimes I'll have the Venomous Hornet out and I'll just get the benefit from this. So you're getting 100% increased weapon damage. Kind of crazy. Now, probably my favorite weapon in the game. Like, a lot of people sleep on this weapon, the Becker. It is a Jacobs assault rifle, and it pretty much shoots as fast as you can pull the trigger. If you've got a really good trigger finger, this gun destroys. 15% fire rate, 50% reload speed. Critical hits ricochet 1 bullet to the nearest enemy. Now, I'll probably put some gameplay at the end of this video or wherever, it doesn't matter, but this is the main gun I'm just running around shooting stuff with. I don't know what makes it do so much damage, but just melts anything with shields, melts anything with health bars. This is the gun I'm just using most of the time. And then that and the Lucian's Call. And then when I need to drop like a shield, I'll just switch to the Butcher, Queen's Call, and then sometimes I'll bring out the Venomous Hornet. For my shield, I'm using the Unwavering Stopgap. For my class mod, I'm using the Venator Headhunting Cosmic Stalker. This gives me increased damage with my Jacobs weapons. It gives me increased fire rate with Maliwan weapons and increased damage with Maliwan weapons. So yeah, I'm running the Hex Grenade, good old Hex Grenade, one of the strongest grenades in the game. I've got the one that spawns 3 MIRV grenades and it homes to the closest target. I'm also running for the artifact, the rocket boots. So whenever I slide, I shoot out rockets. And yeah, whenever I'm suffering a elemental effect, I can increase my damage with that same element. So if you've got any weapons that can damage you, shoot the floor and then shoot the enemy, you'll get a huge damage boost. So this actually has 90% damage boosting as well. But yeah, let's go over the perks and what skills I'm using. So I am using the Stalker and the Hunter tree. So here for my Stalker, I'm running obviously Fadeaway, probably the strongest thing you can be running on Flak right now. I've got 5 points in Self-Repairing System, 5 points in Furious Attack, 1 in all my BFFs, 1 in Lick the Wounds. This is extremely important to have if you are running solo content, just so your pet can actually revive you. 3 points in Turn Tail and Run, 2 points in Hidden Machine, 3 points in the Fast and the Furious. I'm also running Unblinking Eye, a Gorillas in the Mist, and I'm running the Gunslinger Jabber. Now, going back to my class mod, I've got 3 points. Well, not 3 points. I've got 1 point in each of these on here. So let's go over to this tree by here. So I've got 1 extra point in Interplanetary Stalker and 1 extra point Hunter's Eye and 1 extra point in Big Game. So basically just -1 if you don't have this class mod. But I've got 5 in Interplanetary Stalker, or 4 if you don't have the class mod, 3 in Leave No Trace, 4 in Hunter's Eye, 3 in Head Count, 5 in Two Fang, 3 in Big Game, or 2 in Big Game, 1 in The Most Dangerous Game, 4 in Grim Harvest, 1 in Galactic Shadow, and 1 in Megavore. Now, I guess the main thing you want to be doing with this build, and what the build is extremely good for, is just keeping your fadeaway up. Your fadeaway up will be up pretty much 100% of the time. Maybe like the downtime will be like 5 or 10 seconds. But the more critical hits you get with having fadeaway up, the faster it comes back. And even if you're hitting crits out of your super, it will pretty much give it to you back instantly. And that's what makes this build do so much damage. You just have constant fadeaway. Keep hitting as many crits as you can with Queen's Call, Lucian's Call. You pretty much have an unlimited clip, just the way it works. So critical hits return 2 bullets to your magazine and ricochet 2 bullets to the nearest enemy. If you're hitting headshots, you're pretty much able to not have to reload this weapon, and it's just insanity. But that's been the build. Guardian skills, honestly, doesn't really matter. You can put in whatever you want. If you've been playing for a while now, just do gun damage, reload speed, I guess. Critical hit chance is really good to have. The reason this build is extremely powerful is because I have so much crit chance, and the more crit chance, obviously, every time you hit a crit with the Queen's Call, Lucian's Call, you get an extra bullets back in the mag. And this has been a build that's been around, I guess, for a while now, but this is super good for the build, like super good for the raid. Extremely good. I'm gonna leave you guys with some gameplay now of me basically just soloing the first part of the raid, showing you how I use it, basically just switching between all different types of weapons. And when you do go into the raid, guys, make sure you have at least 1 or like at least 3 of the elements, because there's a lot of different types of enemies. You've got enemies with shields, armor, you've got enemies with shields and flesh, and it's kind of just all over the place. So if you can have a variety of weapons, it's going to work out great. If you guys are looking for any single weapons to trade as well, be sure to jump in the Discord, discord.gg/Willis. It's an awesome little community where you can trade weapons. We've got a nice little Borderlands trading channel. You can jump in if you're looking for any of these weapons. Be sure to jump in. But this has been Willis Gaming, guys. Enjoy this little bit of gameplay, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.
return to the hunt.